Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 4 years and 5 months now. Whoa. What have I healed from and what am I healing from? Mast cell activation disorder, dysautonomia, POTS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivity, hypothyroid, anxiety, depression, PTSD, PCOS, SIBO, fibromyalgia. Did I say that? I might have said that. Anyway, it's migraines, a whole host of symptoms and conditions. I have healed from so many things, and I continue to heal, and I continue to go on this journey. I've lost over 70 pounds. I'm keeping going. I just keep going. This is my life now. This is my lifestyle, and it is everything to me. I am so grateful. I was in a wheelchair. I have been brought out of the depths of despair and inability to function, and I couldn't stand up for more than 5 minutes, and I have healed so many things, and I'm just incredibly grateful for my healing and everything that medical medium does. If you want to know more about my personal healing journey and the things I've healed from, there are links in the description box below. And it's time for What's Up Wednesday. What's Up Wednesday? When I come here, I make a video talking about where I am in my healing journey, what's been going on with me this past week. It's been more than a week, maybe, I don't know. What is time? Does anyone know? Does anyone have like a good sense of time right now? Let me know in the description box below if you feel like you still right now, after everything that's been going on, have like a good sense of time, like you know what time it is throughout the day. I used to know all the time what time it is throughout the day. I would just have a general sense of what time it is, you know, how late it's getting, how long things take. Like I was really good with time and space. Like that has always been, for me, a strength that I've had. I've always been able to. I'm good with spatial relationships, and I was good with time. Not so anymore. I'm still good with spatial relationships, not so good with time. Now, time has become so relative. I know that's so cliche, but it really has. Like I don't have a sense of how late it is in the day or how much time has passed when I'm doing something, and that's just like a sort of a new development this past year. Anyone else getting that kind of like, what is time? I don't know anymore. I don't know. What's been going on with me? I don't know. Lately, I mean, we are in a Mercury Retrograde, so I can pretend to blame that or whatever. I don't know. I don't really like fully know. Medical medium said at one point that like there was something to know about Mercury Retrograde, but I wonder what it is. Like I don't know. I think it's a thing. Probably it affects like heavy metals. I don't know. Seems like a lot of these planets, like it's Mercury, right? The planet Mercury. Maybe it affects the mercury in our bodies and in our environment. Just a guess. Like we are definitely affected by the moon, and we're meant to be in tune with the moon cycles. And I love the medical medium moon meditation where he talks about that. He's talking about how we have been in tune with the moon cycles for thousands of years, and we're meant to be in tune with the moon cycles, and how healing the moon is for us. And if you have not done the medical medium moon meditation, allow me to put a link in the description box below for you to go and try it yourself, because it's good stuff. Like I've had such profound experiences with the moon meditation in all kinds of different ways. I posted about this on my Instagram recently, but I recently had an experience where I was able to see things in the meditation very vividly, where I'm not usually able to see things. I more imagine with my mind's eye than actually like see them in a way that I see things with my eyes open. And I recently had an experience in the moon meditation where I got a glimpse of that, and it was amazing. And I haven't had that experience since, but I'm hoping I will have it again. I've had it like little flashes of it, but not as vivid as it was in that. But when I do the moon meditation, every time it's different, and every time my experience is different, and I almost always feel that magnetic pull from the moon, and I feel stuff being lifted out of me, and like poisons and toxins leaving, and I feel that reconnection with who I am, and it's incredibly moving, and I love it. So, have you been listening to the Medical Medium podcast? Have you been doing the meditations? He now has how many meditations? Let's think. He's got the brain meditation, the moon meditation, the fruit picking meditation, the stargazing meditation, and the free as a bird meditation. Anyway, the stargazing meditation is new, and I love that one. He just put it out a couple days ago, and I love that one because it's short and really powerful. Like, I love them all. I can give you reasons why I love each one of these meditations. Like, I try to do the brain meditation every single morning. I don't always do it because sometimes I get up and I get sort of veered off into doing something else before I can come back into the bedroom and do a meditation. But I do try when I can to do the brain meditation every morning. I'm not perfect, but I do it as much as I can. Sometimes I will do a second meditation after the brain meditation. This morning it was fruit picking. Sometimes now it'll be stargazing. The cool thing about the stargazing meditation, as with all the meditations, is you can do them during the day or you can do them at night. Even the moon, even the stargazing, where you think, oh, I should do that at night because it's nighttime stuff. Nope, you can do it anytime. And I love the stargazing meditation because it's short and it's 10 minutes. You can do it anywhere, anytime. And I love that. Not in your car, not while you're driving, but anywhere, anytime that you can focus and close your eyes. So I really love that because it connects you back to who you really are and where you really are. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. 10 little minutes, incredibly powerful. I love the free as a bird meditation because I just love how you get to soar in a bird's body and you get to be a bird and soar above the clouds and above the trees, taking in all of nature. Oh my gosh, there's so much freedom in that meditation. It's incredible. I love the fruit picking meditation. Now, the fruit picking meditation, I'm going to admit this is really sometimes kind of hard for me, because it brings up, and I know it's healing it, but I still have to feel it when it comes up, and it brings up a lot of grief and sadness for me because it connects me to all the times, and I know it also brings up a lot of joy, but it's intermingled with all that grief and sadness because it connects me to times that we have done all this incredible fruit picking. I have been so privileged in my life to have all of these different fruit picking experiences. Like when I was a kid, I remember we used to go pick apples. Like we would go on school field trips to pick apples, which was amazing that we could even do that. But we'd pick apples, and I'd go with my family and friends, family friends, and we would all go pick apples together. And it was really positive memories in my childhood, like just really good times. When I remember it, you see my face. And then later in life, when we lived in Canada, we had our beehives on a blueberry farm, an organic blueberry farm. So my bees pollinated the blueberries, and I would go pick blueberries there, and we would get, not just I, but like family and friends, and we would all go and pick blueberries, and we would get like 14-pound buckets, like fill buckets with like 14 pounds of blueberries, and then just also gorge ourselves while we were picking the blueberries. And that was a super fun time. We did the same with raspberries. There were organic raspberries where you could pick them, and we did the same with strawberries, organic strawberries. We did lots of, berry picking there. And of course blackberries, because they grew wild everywhere. So we'd go on walks and we'd pick. Oh, we'd go on walks. Okay, even in our co-housing community, we had like fruit trees and stuff like that. But we'd go on walks. There was this park like in the neighborhood back behind where we lived. And we'd go through walks through that neighborhood. We'd go to the park, and there was like an abandoned orchard like to the side of the park. It had been like a fruit orchard, and there was all this like overgrowth over it, but you could still get the fruit. So there were like Italian plums, and I can't remember all the fruit that was there. I think there were apples and pears maybe, and cherries and berries and stuff like that. I don't remember, but I remember we would go. I know there were Italian plums. We would pick tons of them because we would go and take the kids, and we would pick them because there was this little playground at the park, and we'd take the kids to the playground. This was my son was really young. And we'd take all the kids to the playground, and then we'd go pick fruit, and then, we'd come home. It was great fun. So that was in Canada. And then when we moved to Oregon, our property was an 1.5 acres, and it had 4 apple trees, 4 cherry trees, an Italian plum, 2 grapevines, and 4 blueberry bushes. Oh, my heart. And that's where the grief and sadness comes up. Because it also had these big, beautiful oak trees, and this gorgeous maple tree, and a couple of Japanese maples, and these other like really big flowering bushes. I don't even know what they were called, but the bumblebees loved them, and they would just explode flowers and like a cascade down these bushes. And I honestly don't know what they were called, but they were gorgeous. And we also had this Virginia creeper over this trellis, and the Virginia creeper drops pollen like rain, and the bees love it. So you could walk under the trellis and it would sound like you were in a beehive. It was incredible. It was an incredible property. We had really craptastic neighbors, and they kind of made things hell for us. But when they weren't bothering us, the property itself was amazing. And, the fruit trees. And I miss those trees. And there were 2 families of jays. There was like a family of Stellar jays and a family of scrub jays. And they were like the guard dogs of the property. Like they would get, if they heard anybody or saw anybody that they didn't know, there would be a caucus, like an uproar. They would just be like making all kinds of noise and sounding the alarms, but if they knew you, they loved you. And it was so fun to watch them like play with the squirrels and each other, and it was an incredible property. So that's where the grief and the sadness comes in, because I miss my trees, and I miss my jays and my squirrels. I miss them so much. I miss them more than people. Like I really honestly do. And it hurts my heart sometimes when I think of it. So I have grief. I have a grief about leaving that. So when I do the fruit picking meditation, as incredible as it is, I love that meditation. But when I do it, it does bring up some of that grief. And I know that it's healing it. I know that it's helping to heal it, because it is a wound for me. It's a wound. There's so much kind of more to that too, about what the grief about that and the whole situation and the stuff with the neighbors, and like there was so much joy and pain associated with that time that we lived there. When we lived there is when I fell into chronic illness. So pain. Like it was a really horrible, hard time, and yet we had this incredible little cozy nook of nature around us, and we had a lot of great times there too. So it's it's a mixed. Anyway, so that brings that up. And I know it's healing, so I keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing the fruit picking meditation, but I do have to sort of space it a few days apart so that I can sort of love myself through that when it comes up. I would say the moon meditation is honestly my favorite. And right now is a good time to do it, like a really good time. He said during the half moon, which is now, I think it was a couple days ago or yesterday. But he has said that it's really powerful to do the moon meditation during the week of the half moon and the full moon. And so I've been doing it every night. And I don't know, I love feeling that connection to the moon. Oh, I love it so much. I won't go back into how much I love the moon meditation, but yeah, I think it's my favorite. I don't know. I feel like I alternate between what's my favorite, because the brain meditation is super powerful for just removing that fear. And it seems like it's super important right now in today's climate with everything going on, especially everything that's been happening out there. And if you're somebody who pays attention behind the scenes and you're looking at what's really going on and you know what the plan is, then there can be a lot of fear. And the brain meditation really helps to pull that fear out. And so I feel like it's super important to do it as much as possible every day if I can. So I have been. And, I try to keep in mind that medical medium information and what he is sharing with us are important to our healing, but also to rising above the fray. And I think about how he's known about all of this for a long time. Like, he knows what's going on, and especially what's going on behind the scenes. He knows about these industries and what they're trying to do to us. He's known this, and yet he keeps going, and he keeps fighting for us, and he keeps fighting the spiritual war, and he keeps going. And that gives me strength and hope and fortitude to keep going too. To keep doing everything I can to fight for my own soul, and to fight for the souls of the people I love and care about, and to fight for our sovereignty and our health. And that's important. And that loud snoring is Miss Muffins, who, I don't know if we can show you. Oh, you can't see her. She's the lump in the chair over there. Anyway. That loud snoring is Muffins, my pug. She just meditates her way through my videos. But she has to be with me. She has to. It is a requirement for her. She won't allow it any other way. So, anyway, that keeps me going. Today I woke up. It's like a gray day outside and it's windy. It's not cold because it's kind of warm, but it's like gray and windy, and I don't know about you, but I get affected by the weather and what the weather is doing. So I always feel a little bit heavier on gray days. I feel so much better when I can go outside and feel like sun on my face. The sunshine just lifts me up so much. But if you can't get sunshine, you can get liquid sunshine in the form of orange juice. So I probably will go make myself a big old glass of orange juice after this. After I finish my celery juice, maybe even before I drink my heavy metal detox smoothie, I might make myself some orange juice so I can get some sunshine into me, because I feel like I need it. Now, again, to address those heavy, heavy times, things that I have been doing for myself to support myself through that heavy energy that I can feel happening out there, because you know how it is when you're an empath, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this you are. So you know how you feel it. You're like, oh my gosh, it's intense. Well, nature. I'm not even kidding. I just go outside behind the house here in the yard. There's these woods behind the house. It's beautiful. And I go out. I just watched a leaf dance. I just go out and I just get that sun on my face, and I feel nature, and I hear the birds singing in the woods and all the calls they're making, and I see them kind of dancing around in the woods. And I look at my garden, I look at my fall garden that I've planted. I've got carrots, I've got radishes, I've got lettuce, I've got cauliflower, I've got parsley and cilantro and lemon balm and basil, sort of, and mosh and spinach, and I look at them growing and I just think, okay, it's all right. And then I see where the squirrels have been burying nuts in my plants, and that makes me laugh. I just feel better. I hug my animals, I pet them, and they help too. But those things, it's like you think that that's not, and if you can put your feet in the grass and get your feet on the earth, that's the stuff. I'm probably going to go do that after this too, actually. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to put my feet on the earth. I'm just going to stand there, feel the breeze, and look into the woods, listen to the birds for a second. And you can also call on the angels too. You can call on the angel of beauty to help you see the beauty in nature. You can call on the angel of the sun to help get the sun on your face. You can call on the angel of light to just instill you with her light and help you keep a light heart, and to keep you in the light, help you stay in the light. You can, who else do we have out there? For my plants, my garden, I call on the angel of synchronicity and the angel of abundance. There's the angel of trees, who I always forget to talk to, but she's out there. You can call on the angel of trees. Any of the angels, really. You can ask for them to just help take stuff out of you and help you just relieve, like the angel of deliverance, to help sort of just relieve you of your burden, or the angel of restitution. They're all incredible. All these angels are incredible, and they all help. And I just realized, like, hey, I know who all that, like, I have them in my head now because I talk to all of them so much. Except the angel of trees. I'm going to talk to her today. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to put my feet on the earth. I'm going to do the grounding meditation from the first book. I'm going to call on the angel of trees and the angel of light, some of the other ones I mentioned. And even just thinking about doing that makes me feel lighter. It really does. How cool is that? Amazing tools. It's interesting how, for me, the further I am on this journey, like the longer I am healing with medical medium information, the less and less I even look to anything else for support as far as information goes. When I found the medical medium information physically, like the foods and the supplements and stuff like that, everything else did fall away, as far as it just all sort of became noise as far as my physical health was concerned. But I still was using other spiritual tools that have supported me, and I'm not knocking any of that. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just saying, because those helped me. All of those tools I was still using helped me. But I have found lately, this past, I don't know, year or so, that I don't need any of those anymore, because the medical medium offers spiritual tools, and his tools work, and they come from above, and they're not guessing games, and they're not like, it doesn't mean that the other tools didn't work, because they did, and they helped me. Like I said, they supported me. I just feel like I don't really need them as much anymore. And so it's like I've got the meditations, I've got the angels, I've got nature. I'm good. And I've got the foods, and the foods and the supplements also offer spiritual support. And so I go, if I'm feeling a little down and I'm feeling the lack of sunshine, let me go get some orange juice, because I know that that's liquid sunshine. Not just as a concept, but like spiritually, liquid sunshine. Look at the book Life-Changing Foods, and in that book, he talks about it. Here we go, Life-Changing Foods book. I've got it open to the page on oranges and tangerines. It's page 106 and 107 and 108 and 109. Look at this gorgeous photo. Anyway, okay. So here's what he says. Emotional support. The juice, you can't see the book when I, if I sit back a little bit. Okay. Emotional support. The juice of an orange or tangerine is like liquid sunshine. If you often feel sad, weepy, glum, or down, oranges cut through the gloom and shine the light on your life. Shine a light on your life. They are the perfect food to eat when you feel sun-deprived and lonely. Oh, as though there's an empty void that needs to be filled. Oranges take all the chill and fill you with warmth instead. You ever notice in the U.S., I don't know how this works in other countries, but in the U.S., oranges come into season in the winter. So Florida and California are sending us oranges in the wintertime, and holy moly, is that when we need them. That's when we need them, because we're feeling that doom and gloom. It's like a little bit, it's cold, it's deprived of sunlight, stuff like that. The days are so much shorter, the nights are longer, so we just don't get the same amount of sunlight. We need those oranges. When I was a kid, we had, I will call them extended family. They were friends of our family who were very much like family to me. The mom and dad are very much like an aunt and uncle to me. They were almost like surrogate parents at times. They really helped my mom a lot because she was a single mom and raising 3 kids, and they were there for her as friends. These are the kind of people who just exude light. They are there. I've watched them through my life because I've known them since I was 7, and I still know them now, and I've watched them through my life always have their door open, always giving to others, always hospitable. If a friend is in need, they are there for them. If somebody's coming from out of town, their house is their house. They are very much like, what we have is yours, mi casa es su casa. They are both art teachers and incredible artists, very creative people, and both of them enriched my life so incredibly as a child. To have them and their joy and exuberance and creativity and laughter and intelligence and heart in my life was such, I'm gonna cry. It was such an incredible gift. Because these people were part of my life as a child, we spent Christmases with them, and even throughout my life, a lot of times we would go to their house for Christmas. So at first we lived in a 4-family flat, and they lived in one apartment and we lived in another apartment. Actually, we did live with them at one point in that 4-family flat. They had this small apartment, and here they took us all in, and they did this all the time for just everybody they knew. Like, there were just always, and they don't have much, but what they have, they give. They just are incredibly giving people, and they live their lives in service, and they're just amazing. So I feel very blessed to have people like that in my life. That was not even what I was going to say, but that's sort of a little backstory. And on Christmases, one of the things, like, everybody would get Christmas stockings, and they would always, in our Christmas stockings, we would get nuts and oranges and chocolate. But they would always put oranges in our Christmas stocking, and we would and like all different kinds of nuts too, like just assortments of nuts. And there would be other things too, like, loose coins and, like I said, chocolate and stuff. But like, I remember that. And how we would all like eat our oranges. We'd sit around the tree and like eat our oranges. It's such an incredibly, I'm gonna cry again, I'm sorry. It's such an incredibly rich and positive and vibrant and beautiful memory for me. And like I said, they didn't have much, but they would give, and so things like that. And I think it's because also, as like, they grew up getting stockings like that too, because when our parents were kids, if you could get an orange in winter, it really was like gold, because it was not easy like it is now. We can get any fruit and food we want all year round, at least right at this moment. But you couldn't when they were younger, and then when they're grandparents and stuff like that. So to get something like, it was so valuable to have things like nuts and fruit in the winter. Sorry, I'm just a little bit like in that memory for a second. And this is the reason. It's like people used to know how incredibly important these things are. Also, oh, this is so perfect to what I just said. Listen to this. So this is the spiritual lesson of oranges. Oranges and tangerines remind us that we sometimes overlook the most important ingredients in our lives. I'm gonna cry again. Sorry. In our lives, every now and then we have to think about what we push aside or forsake and reevaluate whether all of it deserved to be devalued. In the case of these fruits, you may drink only the occasional orange juice and feel guilty when you do. Snack on a clementine once a year. Oh my gosh, clementine season. Clementines and mandarins. Oh my, when they're, oh, that is, I'll buy them by the case when they're in season. Or try an infrequent spread of orange marmalade on toast, whereas oranges and tangerines should rightfully be a centerpiece in your diet. As you make them a bigger part of your life, look around. What else is worthy of a second glance? Obviously that all just got me a little verklempt. Oh man. If you're newer to the medical medium information and you don't have this book, this is such an incredible book, the Life Changing Foods book. In fact, I have a couple extra copies. So, hit me up in the comments if you want one of them. I'll send it to you, because it's such a good book. It's such a good book. And I try to keep several extra copies of all the books at all times, because you never know who needs one and wants me to give one away to them. And I'm so happy to do it. This is, like I said, this book is incredible, because it's this much information on oranges and tangerines, actually. And then there's the recipe. And there's over 50 foods in this book, and I'm not even trying to sell you the book. I'm just telling you it's an incredible book. Again, same thing with the first book. Just have them all. Like, you just want them all. They're all so good. They're all so good. Incredible. Okay. So lately, to go back to my healing, I've been a little more emotional lately, as I have exemplified here in my video. I have sort of felt like emotions coming to the surface, a lot of them. And so sometimes when that happens, I go a little more inward. And then all the big energy that's out there right now, it kind of makes me want to like pull in and protect myself. At the same time, I've had some pretty amazing experiences actually coming out and going out and interacting with people too. So it's nice to mix it up a little. And it's also nice to get out and leave the house. And as I am going through this, the sun just came out. And that's so awesome to see. Yay, the sun. Okay, so what has been going on with me as far like what have I been eating? So lately, basically I really like to have the routine of the 3-6-9 cleanse at least until dinner. So I still do lemon water and then celery juice and then heavy metal detox smoothie, and then I'll do the blended applesauce that's celery, apple, dates. I really love that stuff. So I will blend that up and eat that, and then I will try to have spinach soup for lunch. And then after that, I will generally eat some cooked food. Yesterday I made a curry, kind of a curry soup, and it was delicious and fat-free and salt-free, and I had like a lot of it. I had a lot of that soup. It was really good though. And I guess it's like sometimes, some days I feel like way more hungry and I just want to eat and eat. And when I eat cooked food multiple days in a row, like for a month or however long I've been eating it, even when I'm eating raw all day, I do start to get like a little bit sluggish and tired, but it's also, I do start to get a little bit more, like I have that feeling of like, I want to hibernate. So I'm having that feeling of pulling in and sort of cocooning myself, not just because of like whatever is coming up or whatever's going on out there, but because the weather is changing, it's getting cooler, and it just is natural for me this time of year. I always sort of feel like I want to hibernate. I think I must have been a bear in another life because I always do have that feeling of like, I want to hibernate and cocoon and have warm things and stuff like that. So I get like a little slower and I get a little more tired and a little more subdued and a little more sluggish, and there's less daylight, all that stuff. So I'm kind of going through that right now, and I'm not like, it's like maybe it's the foods, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's that sort of natural inclination for hibernation for me. Physical things that are happening in my body. Remember how I've talked about the edema in my ankles? Well, that's coming back a little bit. I'm not thrilled about that, but it seems like whenever, I don't know, it does seem to correlate with my eating more cooked food, that I get more edema in my ankles. Even when I don't eat salt, it's really frustrating. I know for me, like I lose the most weight when I eat just raw. And I lose the most weight when I'm doing the 3-6-9 cleanse specifically. It's like it goes in levels. If I'm raw till dinner, it's like I'll still lose weight, but it's super slow. If I eat all raw, I start to lose weight. If I do the 3-6-9 cleanse, whoosh, it goes off much faster. And the edema goes down and stuff like that. And so I know I should be doing that, right? Like I know, well, I shouldn't say should, right? That was funny. I know I could be doing that. And it just, sometimes it gets hard this time of year, especially with everything right now. And potatoes are so comforting to me. And so kind of like every cooked meal I do is with potatoes. But I do try to make it like I'll either have steamed potatoes, which is the best way to eat them and the most healing way to eat them, or I will do a soup, which is also like, you know, includes, it'll have like healing elements to it, because a soup, it's almost like you're making a tea of the vegetables, and so you're getting all the benefit. So those are like really good healing ways to eat it. So I do eat it being cooked food. So I do try to do it that way most of the time. I feel like I've made so many videos where I'm just fussing about like, oh, if only I could just eat all raw. This is my ongoing struggle, isn't it? It is. I want to just eat all raw. I have more energy. I lose more weight more quickly. I feel really good. Here's what I do know. I cannot eat grains. I tried. I made that, the medical medium recipe I did 2 recipes. One was the pumpkin bread and one was the raisin bread. And then I'm going to combine them. And I tried some, and I have not eaten grains, and I can't even, like years it's been since I've tried any grains. There's oat flour in the bread is the grain, and there's a little millet in the raisin one. I couldn't do it. It was just, my body was like, no. It doesn't like flours of any kind. It doesn't like it because they're too dehydrated, they're too dry, and they are processed. And it doesn't, my body's just like, I don't like it, don't do that. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, well, I said flours of any kind. So even things like garbanzo flour, which I find delicious and I love it. And I love beans, and I love garbanzo beans and chickpeas, which are the same thing. I love, and black beans. Oh my gosh. I do. I love beans. I don't usually eat them because I know that I don't digest them well. And that includes the flours. I just don't digest them well. Because in addition to having had my gallbladder out and so really not being able to process fats well, I also have like this weird kink in my intestines. And maybe, when I was listening to the Potato Show earlier today, I've listened to it a few times now, but I was also listening to it earlier today, and he was talking about food poisoning and how sometimes food poisoning can affect people even for years. And I have definitely had food poisoning, and I know when one of them was, and I think that the incident leading up to my gallbladder might have been a second incident of food poisoning. And I think I kind of haven't recovered from that fully. Like, when I'm on a 3-6-9 cleanse, my digestion is awesome. And everything's moving smoothly, and I don't get gurgles, and I don't have a lot of gas, and it just all works well. But anything else, it's kind of like no. And especially if I have stuff like, it gets really bad if I have stuff like anything with flour or grains. Sometimes that makes me sad because I just am like, oh, this pumpkin bread was so good. I wanted to taste it. I just wanted to taste it. It smelled incredible. The cinnamon bread smelled incredible. So I just wanted to taste him. And I think the cinnamon bread had millet and oat flour, and the pumpkin bread had oat flour and rice flour. Now, I don't use rice flour, so I substituted cassava flour for the rice flour. But even so, my body was like, no, I don't think this is good. And it just kind of, everything went gurgly and it wasn't good. And I'm like, maybe I need to do a papaya mono cleanse for a while or something. But that's a little bit tough because getting the papayas to all be ripe at the right times, and even getting the papayas period. But I did notice that when I'm on the 3-6-9 cleanse, it stops doing that. So it might be something that I need to really kind of look into that if I want it to settle down. But here's what I've noticed too, is when your symptoms aren't so bad, like they're not that irritating, it's like, they're kind of annoying, but it's like it's not debilitating. When your symptoms aren't debilitating, there seems to be less motivation to do what you really need to do. And that's annoying to me. I'm like, well, I'm sort of getting away with it. I'm not getting away with it, but these symptoms aren't debilitating. So, I'm still functional. I can still do what I need to do in a day. Maybe less of what I need to do, but still what I need to do. And yet, when I was non-functional, I was willing to do whatever it took. Whatever it took. And I've noticed that out there too. I've noticed that with people, like if they're pretty functional and they just have a few symptoms, they're like, I'm not going to do that. That's too much. Like they won't. Food's a weird thing. Our attachments, our emotional attachments to it and stuff like that, it's powerful. It's really powerful. And medical medium said, really, we all have eating disorders. And he's right. Like, I've seen that. It's true. And we're not wrong for it. It's not even our fault. It's just, this is what we're born into, and it's like this. It's okay. It's okay. This is part of my process, and I'll get there, I'll do what I need to do. And it's not a horrible thing for me to be eating cooked foods and potatoes right now. And if I want to completely eradicate these symptoms, probably I need to just really go raw and even get back on 3-6-9 cleanses. And I will. Anyway, there's a couple symptoms other too, and they are improving. So I went full shingles protocol, but I kind of am not always, like sometimes I forget to take all my supplements, and I don't always do the aloe water every day. So there's a couple of things, like I'm not like fully gung-ho doing it exactly, but I'm doing it to the best of my ability right now. So compassion for myself. It is helping though, but it's helping. That's the thing, is I notice and I think, oh, what if I just actually went full throttle on this, and it would probably help even more. It is helping because the pain is not happening anymore, and the numbness has definitely decreased drastically. It's almost fully gone. Like on a scale of 0 to 10, where the numbness was about a 3 before, now it's at about a 0.5. It's like, and sometimes it's at 0. So it's really low. It's really low. And that was in my back. And so that's almost gone. And then the itching, it's freaking itching. Itching's still there. But the pain, like the tightness that was happening here, and then like the pain in my back, and then any kind of sciatic stuff, that's not there anymore. So we're getting there. We're getting there with like this little minor symptoms. And again, it doesn't impede my life really. It's just irritating. It's just like, why is that like that? I don't want, and the itching is honestly the most annoying thing to me, because I hadn't had any itching for so long. But things have been stressful. Anyway, okay, so my healers and health seekers, please tell me how you're doing. I miss hearing from you. I hope you haven't disappeared. Please still be here. I hope you're still here, because I really do love like hearing your updates and hearing what's going on with you. And I really want to know. Wherever you are in your journey, it's fine. And I support you and I love you. And whether you comment or not, and I just appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well. But please tell me. Tell me if you can. If you're feeling like you can comment, please comment. Keep doing the medical medium meditations. Comment any questions you have below. Comment any videos you want me to make, but make sure you say like, can you make a video about this, so that I'll know that that's what it is that you want me to do, and I will do my best. And I just wish you all so many blessings on your continued healing journey. If you like this video, I forgot to say, leave a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button over there. You can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos. I don't know if you'll get notified, because I don't know, but you might be. Sometimes people don't get any notifications, and sometimes they do, so you can try. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers, and I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.